guys, Tom61, and today we have another good match over in the Kiev. Working my way through grinding this ship, and ended up with, well, I would say a pretty good game. As far as the build goes, we are running the wonderful Trubetskoy with Rumble and Sims, basically trying to get the maximum range, and then using Trubetskoy, we're also using that unique third slot perk that boosts the fire chance, because if we can stay at range, we have a decent amount of range with the secondary line of Soviet destroyers, and we can start burning some ships down. So that's our plan. As far as concealment goes, we don't have the greatest concealment, but we are in a domination game mode, and therefore we do need to play our cap. We also do have aircraft carriers in the match. Thankfully, our aircraft carrier kind of spawned on over on our side, and we do have the support of our teammates down below. Our job right now, we're just going to try to park ourselves in the edge of the cap circle right here. We're going to pre-torp that one little corridor right there just in case, and we can see a cruiser is making its way towards us. We're going to go ahead, just kind of sit right here, be ready to flee if we need to, just because the way that we can get pushed into, we want to be able to disengage relatively easily. Miyoko, we're going to go ahead and drop torps on his, because he seems to be making a fairly decent kind of beeline towards us at this moment, and we can at least put those in to zone him or force him not to turn broadside, because by the time those torps get to us, we should be about in fighting range. 20 seconds until we have the cap, but it looks like it is going to get contested by that Miyoko, and we need to be prepared. He crosses the line of detection. We're going to go ahead and open up on him, start the engine up, try to move forward. He narrowly misses that one torpedo. I was kind of hopeful that we would get a nice bow strike, but now that he's in the cap, we do need to start moving. The enemy Akatsuki says, "Oh, hello, you're kind of distracted with someone else. We're going to go ahead and start engaging you." And we say, "Oh, fine, you're a torpedo boat. We will happily start trying to gun you down." We're going to go ahead and pop the engine boost just to try to get behind this island, because that Akatsuki most likely has put torps in our direction. Now that we have kind of segmented him off, we're going to go ahead and pop our smoke, because, well, we have the support of two battleships looking right at that Miyoko, so we just need to sort of survive here for a little bit, because, well, Miyoko can either choose to go bow in to the two battleships, or he can choose to kind of push in towards us. He looks like he's going to continue to push in towards us. If he does decide to go bow in to the battleships, we can flip over to AP. Miyoko does not have a lot of armor on its side, so if he wants to continue to give us broadside like he looks like he's doing right here, we're going to go ahead, flip over to AP, because the AP will do nice. We're going to go ahead and just kind of check the torp angles right now. He started to turn out, so he undid the AP, but now that he's at what is essentially full broadside and not running his sonar, which is kind of surprising, we flip over to that AP, hit him with two citadels, knock him out, and he's the first ship. And we're going to start getting out of this smoke, because, well, Akatsuki has come around that island and saw the smoke as a torp magnet and released all of his torpedoes in our direction. So we know about where that Akatsuki is, and we want to go ahead and eliminate him. You know, we did have those two battleships supporting us. We know the Akatsuki is going to be drawn to those battleships like cat and catnip, so we need to get rid of him. So we're going to kind of push up into this island. That Pensacola is just at the extremities of our range. We could start to engage him, but we're going to keep this island between us. We are being spotted by the Akatsuki. We'd expect this, because, well, he's going to have the better concealment of the two of us. So we're going to continue to push in. He pops up right there. We're going to go ahead and start firing. And more importantly, we are not going to pursue him around this island for two reasons. One, he does technically still have that cruiser support. That Pensacola may be in its flight or kite mode, if you will. It may be trying to get out of here, but we don't want to push up against him. And two, that's the reason right there. Those torpedoes, we want to give time for whatever torpedoes he may have launched at us to get around the island. We want to get into an angle where he couldn't possibly have fired it. So we're going to go ahead and let the loop around. We saw, thanks to the spotting of, I think, our aircraft carrier, we saw that he was also making this turnaround, so we can get prepared to start to engage him once again as he comes around this island, though he does appear to have nosed in. We do now also have the support of our cruiser right over here, and he has kind of beached himself in this little corner, so we will continue to push in. Pensacola not paying us any attention, and that's absolutely fine by us, and we'll go ahead and start engaging the Akatsuki. He does go ahead and pop his smoke, which can be problematic for us, just because quite within that range of guaranteed acquisition, though either the cruiser decides to pop his sonar, which I think is why we started to see those torpedoes that we narrowly dodge, or he just maybe, well, now he's in that guaranteed range of acquisition. Torpedo goes ahead, touches him in the butt, and we're now down, or we now have 2 ships down, and Pensacola is paying attention to us because we're a fairly weak destroyer. We're going to try to kind of co-opt the smoke of the Akatsuki so that we can reset, let the fire extinguish so that we're not spotted by the Pensacola, and use our long-range guns that can do some pretty decent damage to cruisers and anyone else who is at range. Kind of let the situation reset. Now that we're fully reset, we notice, hey, wait a minute. A, still not capped for our team. His domination mode, we need to be capping caps. So we're going to go ahead and push into A and get ready to cap that Pensacola. Not worth our time to go ahead and pursue, right? He's not doing anything. He's just running away. That is only going to be a losing engagement for us, especially when the majority of the rest of their team is out by sea and kind of pushed up against the island, and we don't really have any team out there. And our ships that are out on the flank, they're battleships. They are not going to be well equipped to hunt the singular destroyer that is left on the enemy team. So we're going to go ahead, kind of start sailing through A and pushing towards our side of the spawn, just because it looks like their team is kind of pushing through the right hand side of the map and pushing down, and we want to intercept whatever we can to try to get some intelligence data out to the rest of our team. We want to be the eyes and ears, and we also want to hunt that enemy destroyer, and we can see torpedoes, what direction they're coming from. We are absolutely now confirmed as at least we have somewhat of a vector as to where this enemy destroyer is. So we want to go and kind of pursue him, get him knocked off the map, and make it a little bit easier for our team, while our friends who spawned with us deal with that Pensacola. And now we have a wonderful smoke screen telling us exactly where that enemy destroyer is. So we're going to start speeding our way. We're going to say, hey, battleship, we know we don't have we do not have a ton of health. We don't know how much health the enemy destroyer has. We are going to need your help because we are going to push in to try to get this enemy destroyer. We're going to check the map now. Oh, it's a Z-35. Fun. So this is something that could be somewhat dangerous for us. We do see that there's enemy planes operating in the area, which is also not the best for us because you know, we can be spotted, and that Z-35 could be alerted to our position. We don't want him alerted to our position right yet, just because he could continue to use that smoke screen, pop the sonar, and have a huge advantage as far as being able to eliminate us. So we were really hoping that he wouldn't be able to use that smoke screen. It looks like smoke screen is dissipating at this time. He's turning out. We go ahead and knock his engine and one of his torp tubes. We check the torp angles, and we are just being cautious right here because we know he isn't firing his guns, and he's horizontal. He's perpendicular to us. So chances are he is trying to launch torps at us. There's one set of torps from him. There's a set of torps from the enemy carrier. Thankfully, he also missed his drop with our little break right there. Z-35 still hasn't fired his guns, and because of that, that Z-35 is about to be wiped off the map. We knock his guns, or we knock his engine for a second time, and now we just need to wipe him off the map. There we go, third one down, and we now have secured A and B, and we just need to start spotting our team. The thing we do need to be worried about, though, is that carrier. He has our number. He knows exactly where we are at this moment, and he is going to try to pursue us because we are a huge threat to him, right? The carrier and the destroyer represent a similar slot as far as their job of performing recon, and we are one that can deal way more damage than he can, or at least in the short burst. So he's going to start pursuing us. He's a ranger, I believe, so we do need to be worried about some of these dive bombers because if they hit us, it will absolutely slap us. Enemy cruiser also taking his shots at us, and now is when we're thinking, okay, we need to start thinking about how to disengage and how to get the carrier to stop pursuing us. He hits us, and we're down to only 409 hit points. So what do you do in this situation? You need to push towards your teammates. Destroyers don't have the ability to really stand up to aircraft. A couple of them do decent, like Friesland, which are AA sort of destroyers, but in the vast majority of these destroyers just won't stand up to those, so we need to disengage. One, we want him to burn whatever fighters he has spotting us, and two, we want to enter a vector that puts us intercepting our teammates. When we do that, he is then forced to, if he wants to try to find us, to push his ships over ships that have much higher AA, and he does not want to do that because he will lose planes, especially this late into the game. That does run the risk of deplaning him, which he does not want to do. So we're going to go ahead, put our vector so that we are passing these two friendly ships, and we are going to kind of make this long loop around the island. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward because there's nothing to really be said about this little Gilligan's Island tour that we're going on. Okay, so we've successfully made our Gilligan's Island loop, and one piece of little information that I've picked up on while doing that transit is that battleship isn't pushing, and I was wondering why, and now I see why. Look how little health that Byron has. He is going to be sticking next to that aircraft carrier because that is his source for will to rebuild. If we look, he's constantly gaining back a little chunk of health, which tells us wherever this Byron is, that aircraft carrier is not too far away from it. So while we might not be able to see the aircraft carrier at all times, the Byron is going to be an excellent marker for us to be able to determine where exactly he is. Also, during that transit time, the last cruiser on the enemy team has been knocked out, so we don't need to worry about him anymore. Now, our build is based around set and fires, which is good because we're going up against a battleship that is will to rebuilding, and being able to set multiple fires on a battleship can overwhelm will to rebuild. It'll just take some time. Thankfully, Byron is going to be one that kind of, we can go ahead, get him to issue his damage con and then burn out, which is exactly what we want to do. We also have one of our smoke screens left, so we're going to go ahead, camp in our little smoke screen here, set off one set of torpedoes on the Byron's current path. We want to knock him out just in case he has some health stored up. We want to be able to eliminate him. We go ahead, release the second wave as he has turned in. We want to be able to take out this Byron. Now, the good news about them kind of stacking up like this is just because we released on the line of the Byron, turns out both the aircraft carrier and Byron are together, or at least their vectors are similar enough where we just missed those first set of torps with Byron, but we take the carrier out with it, and well, here comes the Byron, and that's going to be a double strike and a Kraken and the end of the game. Pretty fun game in the Kiev right there, and quite a fun time. Guys, if you liked the video, go and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.